There was also this feeling when your name was being mentioned as a possible CVC before you became the CVC that you handled, as I mentioned, huge contracts in the Defence Ministry, and many of those deals later come up some way, one way or the other, for scrutiny. Did it weigh on your mind ever that it might just come back to sort of haunt you somewhere?
Well, firstly, we try to do whatever we do to the best of our ability, and it was a part of my job to see that the defense forces get the equipment that they need, and I think we have tried to provide them the equipment which they need to protect our borders. It is all transactions in government are open to scrutiny, so we have no hesitation that they will be scrutinized by CAG, they will be scrutinized by others, and if there is any problem with them, then appropriate action would be taken.
Correct. But you have a lot of work on your hand, as you said, clearing huge major appointments in CBI, other organizations and all that. Do you feel understaffed? Do you need to strengthen the commission a little bit?
Well, I have not been able to firm up my views on this, but definitely if more cases come to us, then we will need to strengthen our organization, because it is not something that is cast in stone. It is a matter of administrative convenience, and ultimately if we have to deliver, then the organization's staff strength should match. The capabilities have to be created, keeping in view the task in hand.
Right. You also mentioned about inculcating sort of culture of honesty and corruption-free systems in the government. Do you think this kind of training should be given to young bureaucrats when they start off, and something should be compulsory for them to look at deals in a transparent manner? System should be transparent.
I personally feel that all organizations and everybody in government should promote ethics in governance. It is a value which is universal, which is something which is fundamental to good governance. It is not for the Central Vigilance Commissioner to tell this. It is something that is intrinsic in all good organizations, and all governments do try to promote ethics in governance. So having said so, I personally believe that this is a task which has to be constantly pursued.
Right.
And right ethics and values are promoted. It is a long-term thing.
Correct.
While we do award deterrent punishment when corruption is taking place, etc., but inculcating a culture of honesty and good values is a long-term thing, and it is a continuing work in progress. The family plays a role, the school plays a role, the civic society plays a role. All of us have to play a role in this.
Right.
And I believe that Indians are as honest as anybody else, and all of us should try to promote it.
That's true. See, the other parallel movement that is going on is to have a Lokpal to curb corruption. What are your views on Lokpal?
Well, Lokpal is a bill that has been under consideration. It is something that is being debated. The debate is also about whether the existing institutions, which are many of them like CAG, CVC, etc., they should be further strengthened, or an entire new bureaucracy to fight corruption should be created. This is a proposal. The bill will come to the Parliament. The Parliament will debate, and if at that stage if our opinion is asked for, then we will formulate it.
They haven't asked you for an opinion yet?
No, the bill has not come to Parliament as yet. The bill has to come to the Parliament.
Let me take you back to your younger days as a civil servant, when you were a Haryana cadre officer. Yes. And when you look back, the kind of working atmosphere that you had then, and the kind of working atmosphere of people who are just getting inducted into civil services, is there a huge difference and huge pressure on the current lot in terms of allurements and the terms of money that is being bandied about?
I have been working in central government now for the last 15 years.
Right.
So I really do not know that much about the current crop of Haryana officers.
Right.
But one thing I do find is that at our time, people used to join the service much younger in age.
Okay.
And now the age profile has definitely changed, and people are much older when they are working in the field.
Right.
That is one change that I do notice.
Right.
Most of us had joined straight from the university in the age group of 22 to 23.
Okay.
Now I understand that people are perhaps better qualified than us, but they are in the age group of 27 or 28.
Right. So does that make a difference, you think, in terms of taking or not taking pressure? Resist temptation.
In terms of molding, I think if you are younger, it is better.
So resisting temptation could be a problem in that age group.
No, I don't think. I think it is an individual value system.
Right.
As Gandhiji once said that there is no end to human greed, and those who have this propensity that will continue, those who are honest remain honest.
Right.
Age has nothing to do with it. You asked me what is the difference, so I find that this is a clear difference.
Major difference, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. No, but again, to come back to the issue of corruption, I mean, there is one view that it's a universal phenomenon. The other view is that corruption is something which can be curbed, but the intention has to be correct. And therefore, how much can you enforce a corruption-free government, or enforce your rules or your recommendations in the government as a CVC?
You know, the mandate of the CVC is primarily to cause investigation and to look into complaints of higher level of public officials in central government.
Right.
There, the CVC can order investigation.
Sure.
It can also, then after that, recommend launching of prosecution also, action, regular disciplinary action, and those things, under the scheme of things, the advice of the CVC is given due respect.
Right.
But ultimately, we are an advisory body.
Okay.
That is one. And as I had said earlier, as far as creation of a right ethics in government is the responsibility of all organizations.
Right.
CVC can recommend deterrent punishment, can catch those who are corrupt, but ultimately a value system of integrity and honesty, which is a larger question,
right,
that has to be worked together by all of us Indians wherever we are.
Right.
It is not something, it cannot be a task that can be left exclusively to the CVC.
Right, but do you think there will be a stage where sometimes some governments or even the CVC might think of having this mandatory implementation of your recommendations of prosecution of...
No, I personally feel that the recommendations of CVC are treated with great respect,
right,
even today, and that is not an issue. Like UPSC's recommendations also, it is also a recommendatory body,
right,
but generally the recommendations are accepted,
okay,
because they enjoy a certain status in our constitutional scheme of things.
Right. So you don't see any problem there really if you recommend action or...
Generally speaking, there may be cases ultimately when you make a recommendation, the other person is taking a view, but by and large the recommendations are respected.
Right. Just for our viewers' understanding, I mean, apart from making clearing the higher level appointments in the bureaucracy or in the CBI, which are the other roles that you play apart from looking at corruption at every level, at the highest level in the central government? Do you also recommend, or do you have to also oversee appointments of important functionaries?
No, government is one. All the public sector organizations are under our purview.
Right.
That means the large organizations like Indian Oil Corporation, the petroleum sector, the power sector, the coal sector. Almost all the appointments of senior level executives, right, in public sector organization and their disciplinary action, right, we look after. Besides that, the banking sector is also under the purview of the CVC.
You mean the chairman of banks?
Chairman of banks and
the
CMDs, general managers,
right,
the insurance sector.
Okay.
So it is a wide remit as far as the central government is concerned.
Right, and also secretaries, of course.
Secretaries, joint secretaries and
Upwards,
above. Yes,
that's
we
right.
deal
So it's a
with
very wide mandate and a big responsibility.
that. It is. I hope I live up to it.
Mr. Kumar, thank you very much for giving your time.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, that was the CVC, Mr. Pradeep Kumar, speaking to us on a range of issues.